In the remnants of what used to be called Harwood Village, nestled between the now parched ridges of the Eldridge Mountains, the soil had cracked, dry and singing the song of drought that had befallen the land for years. The inhabitants, who once celebrated the yearly monsoons that nourished their crops and filled their rivers, now eked out a living on the sparse moisture that the odd cloud brought. Nature, once brimming with life, now stood quiet, waiting. Eli, a young farmer and once an avid gardener, gazed out over the fields that sprawled unwillingly barren before him. It had been exactly 7 years, 2 months, and 16 days since the last substantial rain. The old-timers talked about the changes in hushed tones, their faces creased not just from age but from worry. Eli's father, Jonathan, who had farmed these lands before him, often recited tales of bountiful harvests, of corn swaying in the breeze, thing lush and green as far as the eye could see. But that was before the factories moved upstream, before the river waters had turned thick and toxic, tainted by the careless spewing of waste, before the temperatures began to creep up, setting into motion a relentless exodus of both human and animal life. Eli and many others chose to stay, bound by their love for the land and a stubborn hope that nature, in its infinite wisdom, would heal itself. One blindingly bright morning, as Eli was surveying the northern field, more from routine rather than hope, he spotted something that hurried his step and sparked his eye. It was a young girl, no more than 9 years old, balancing precariously on the cracked earth, an array of peculiar devices spread out before her. Her expression was one of determined concentration, the kind that Eli recognized. It was similar to the resolve his community had, still planting seeds each season, against all odds. Her name was Ada. She told Eli that she was trying to make it rain, not through prayers or dances as the old story suggested, but through science. Her parents were engineers who had reluctantly migrated in search of work, leaving behind books and instruments. With these, Ada crafted her contraptions, solar-powered, mechanical devices designed to extract moisture from the air, no matter how little there was. Days turned into weeks, and every day Ada adjusted her devices, each iteration a little more refined than the last. Eli, moved by Ada's dedication, began to help, using his knowledge of the land and the behavior of the sky to propose adjustments. Together, they toiled under the scorching sun, a bizarre team unified in a singular quest to coax the skies into weeping once more. Seasons shifted slightly. The air grew marginally less harsh. The community, initially skeptical, took notice. They began to gather in the evenings, bringing scraps of metal, old fans, anything that might serve Ada's purpose. It became a collective endeavor, each person contributing to the dream of rainfall. Then, on a day that started like any other, a miracle unfolded. The sky darkened, slowly at first, but with a promise that had been forgotten. A rumble rolled over the mountains, shaking loose the chains of despair that had tightened around Harwood's heart. And then it rained. It poured from the heavens like a cascade of redemption, drenching the thirsty earth, filling the cracks, washing away years of accumulated grief and dust. Crops sprouted, life returned in hesitant but resolute strokes. Ada's machines were improved, replicated, spreading to other communities, other dry corners of the earth. And as the green returned to Harwood, so did the people, their spirits no longer weighed down by the drought's desolation. Eli stood beside Ada, watching the rebirth of his home, knowing that this rain was only the beginning, a prelude to the resurgence of hope, of balance, of rejuvenation throughout the world. Harwood was once again a testament to what can be achieved when human ingenuity collaborates with nature's resilience. And in the midst of revival, the community found not just the means to survive, but to thrive, reminding themselves and the world that even the direst circumstances can be transformed with the rain of innovation and the soil of perseverance.